Hey, what is up, YouTube? Your friendly neighborhood otaku Joe here. So welcome to episode 4 of oTALKu. So before I get started, before anything else, please check out my episode 0 for any and all technicalities of the series, things like no copyright infringement intended, other things along those lines. But just real quick, I want to touch on my channel name change. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you would hear that when I introduce the video, I introduced myself as J Dragonite. That's my old channel name, but I've since decided to change my channel name to oTALKu, the name of this series, because this is what I want my main focus to be. So moving on from there, the anime that I'll be reviewing today will be Rainbow Nisha Rokubou no Shichinin. So Rainbow Nisha Rokubou no Shichinin, which from here on out will be referred to as Rainbow, just to make it shorter for this video. The anime television series was produced by Madhouse Studios and directed by Hiroshi Kojima and began airing in Japan on April 6, 2010. Rainbow was originally a Japanese manga series written by George Abe and illustrated by Masasumi Kakizaki. It began serialization in 2003, and in 2005 it won in the general category of the Shogakukan Manga Awards. So that was just some general information. So moving on to an actual synopsis of the anime. This story is set in 1950s Japan, right after World War II, and focuses on junior delinquents aged 16 to 17 that are sent to the Shonin Special Reform School. Although it is a reform school, it is only such in name. It is effectively a prison for children not old enough to go to general jail. The story begins with 6 boys entering this reform school for the first time. After going through the entry process, they are put in a cell with a boy who is slightly older than them. This boy kind of takes them under his wing and teaches the boys how to survive in the brutal detention center. And they, in turn, then affectionately refer to him as Big Brother. Now, these 7 boys are each very different and are in this prison for very different offenses. But through the guidance of the older boy, they all come together to form a bond of brotherhood as a support unit to help them survive the mistreatment, abuse, and unfairness that they encounter on a day-to-day basis in this prison. So I want to say right here, right now, that this series is definitely not for children. There are many, many dark moments in this anime. The overall message is uplifting. People coming together and helping each other survive insurmountable odds. However, the trials and tribulations these boys face inside the walls of this prison, as well as each of their individual backstories, are absolutely staggering. This story is heavily, heavily tragic, but it is also about overcoming adversity, both with the help of other people and with one's own resolve. The degree of content shown in this anime is definitely not for children. It's actually to such a degree that the anime literally has a warning at the beginning of each episode. I want to repeat, however, that it is not the various tragedies themselves, but rather how the characters overcome and deal with those tragedies. That is where the value of this anime lies. I would also like to make this clear as well, moving on. To my knowledge, Rainbow has not yet had an English release or even has any plans to as of the making of this video, so the only way to watch the series is to find it and watch it online. So, with all that said, I'd like to move on to the review segment. So first up is genre. Many genres are represented in Rainbow, from action to drama to romance. It is mainly a masculine journey, as all the characters in focus are male and identify as such. However, the story itself is touching and uplifting. You can be laughing one episode, crying the next, and cringing the next. There's something for everyone in this series. Moving on to soundtrack. Most background music stays to just that, background music. Many times you'll find yourself too focused on characters or events to notice the soundtrack. That's not necessarily a bad thing. There just isn't much to note on the music quality. In other words, it does what it's supposed to do, nothing more, nothing less. Moving on from that is animation. Animation in this series is crisp and smooth, being produced in 2010. It's fairly recent, so that's understandable. Some parts during fights and such can be slightly gruesome because of blood, but not really too bad. But characters who have evil intent can be picked out thanks to their character design. In part, this makes things slightly predictable, but it's also a testament to excellent character design in the characters, in that the character's nature is, for the most part, clearly communicated through their facial expressions and demeanor. In short, good guys look good, bad guys look bad. It's one of those kind of things. On to plot development. Now, I have not read the manga adaptation, the original adaptation, so I cannot say how true the anime adaptation stays to the originally intended story. However, I can say that the story presented here is communicated expertly. Character development and plot development are reasonable. Usually, characters' backstories are explained at appropriate times, and any flashback-like events are appropriately placed, and offer great insight into a character's workings without being too drawn out. In my experience from watching this anime, if you haven't read the manga, then whether it stays true to the original or not is really irrelevant. No matter what, you are in for a touching and uplifting story of friendship, struggle, and willpower. So, moving on, with that being said, to my final segment for this video, which is notable songs. So, just to be clear, links to any songs I include in my videos will also be included in the video description. So, a notable song for this series, despite the fact that the soundtrack isn't too notable in itself, because it just kind of blends into the background, the most notable song in the series is its opening song, which is We're Not Alone by Coldrain. This song is kind of like a hard rock metal song, but it also has very uplifting notions, and the lyrics of the song and the overall feel of it go very, very well with the anime. It's very appropriate. So with that being said, I do want to say, even though I've kind of rushed through my little script here, I do really just want to say that this anime is very, very good, and it's actually very underrated. I found this anime through a fellow fan of Gurren Lagann, and if you've watched my first episode of oTALKu, you know how into Gurren Lagann I am. And when this person found out that I watched Gurren Lagann, they actually recommended this anime to me, and I watched it, and when I was done, once I watched the final episode, it was instantly a second favorite anime, and I've watched a lot of anime, and this is my second favorite anime of all time. It's extremely well done, and the story is just amazing. I can't stress enough how important it is, if you're an anime fan, to at least give this show a shot. Because I don't feel a lot of people know about it because it doesn't have an English release. And if people do know about it, then it's extremely underrated because it took a while for me to find out about this anime, too long. I really wish I'd known about this sooner. So I just want to stress that as much as possible. Please check this out if you get the chance. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share on social media if you like any of my content. But more importantly, especially with, this video, more importantly, please check out this series if it sounds at all interesting to you. Thanks for watching. See you later.